So now on to our next panel, which is going to be about digital wallets. I think we can all agree that in theory, digital wallets are a great thing. We all probably have a few hundred passwords and multiple different services. We all hate uploading our passports to various different locations. So the idea of a digital wallet where you can share your credentials is a fantastic thing, but leading on from the panel we just left, it's also a dangerous thing if it's not secured. So I'm glad this next panel is being moderated by a lawyer. Jan, where are you?
I'm here.
Here you are.
Yeah.
So, Jan, you're just in the nick of time,
Yeah, as always, trying to be
like a superhero.
like a superhero
Yeah.
with my team. So we are already. We discussed a little bit before. So great that we had the occasion.
Okay. Well then,
And-
I'll leave it to you, and I'll let you.
Yeah. So
Bring your guests on stage.
thank you for introduction. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for giving us opportunity to talk a little bit about the digital identity wallets. Today with me will be Adrian Danilescu from Namiral. And Adam Miziołek from Verestro. And Davor Gaspar from Estred Digital. And the idea is today talk a little bit more about how we think the digital wallets could, what influence it could have on the financial market and our lives. Because, mostly we are thinking that the technology is changing something. It's true, because we have the digital payments, for example. We have the new means of payments, so everybody is focusing on that because that's the most useful what we are seeing. And the digital wallets is something new because in Poland, for example, you have mObywatel, so the tool that mCitizen, in English. So you can use it as the mean of showing the authorities that it's the mean of the identification before the authorities. So you don't have to use, for example, physical wallet. You just use the application on your phone, and it's mostly convenient. We see that a few years ago, when it was not so well developed, maybe a few hundreds people use it. Right now, the people that have the application is over 4 million of citizens, so the numbers are increasing. And that's the idea because, everybody is talking about the AI, whether it will have the influence on how we are identifying the clients. What will change? Because we are thinking about the digital channels. And today with me, you see I think one of the best guests that we could invite to talk about this. And the first question would be to Adrian, because the Namiral have, the deep experience in the trust services. In your view, please share with us what are the must-have security features? Because we know that we are using the wallets to make the secure transactions. And from your perspective, what will be the influence and truly gainer for the users?
Well, pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for attending this panel. You started with a very good example of mObywatel. I was in Dansk yesterday and talking about wallets in the context of legal entities, and one of the participants was the owner of the mObywatel in Poland. And this is an app that grew with many other sets of functionalities, and it's going to be the Polish wallet. So that's the perfect example how an app can become a wallet. Now, just to set up the basis for the discussion, when talking about the wallet, we're talking about the European regulation, eIDAS 2.0. We are a trust service provider, so under eIDAS 1, we are issuing various types of trust services. Now, wallets are part of eIDAS 2.0, and many of the things that will be part of the wallet, because the wallet provider does not necessarily need to be a trust service provider, qualified trust service provider, will be offered by qualified trust service providers. So this is a similarity to what we do currently with trust services. Those wallets will be available for legal people, so entities, as well as for individuals. So personal wallets and company wallets. The whole concept the way it was built by the European Commission is focused around sovereignty and around security. So it has to be secure, the person has to have complete control over their data, can share the data with anybody that they wish to share the data with, and can share whatever data they wish to share with. So it's very important that this whole aspect of security is key, is built into the wallet. Now there will be different other services inside the wallet which will also be protected by various ways of security. For example, you're going to have qualified signatures, you're going to have free of charge for the citizens, you're going to have attributes which will be qualified by trust service providers and consequently come with the trust and the security provided by such trust service providers, include personal identification data or legal personal identification data depending on the type of wallet and so on. So security is critical for such a concept.
Especially that these wallets, you can imagine that we are talking about the services that that are not defined. To give you an example for what we are using this as mCitizen, about what Adam said. For example, you can log in to public services using just only the app. You don't have to use any other means. So it is a very powerful mean of identification, of sharing your own information with third parties. And probably that's...
This is the authentication part of the wallet. Yeah, so
exactly.
you can log in into different types of services.
Exactly, and it's very powerful, as you told. And Adam, from your perspective, because we are saying about the services, so what influence it will have on the players like Verestro or all the e-commerce market, that kind of services that will appear soon with the eIDAS 2? How do you think?
I don't know. Really, I don't. It's hard to imagine, what's going to be the impact of it. But we can only believe that. Okay, maybe I would start from the people fears. So people tend to, in European Union, mostly in CEE, to be afraid of giving all the data they have to the government. We don't believe our governments. Looking what is happening right now in Romania, in Poland as well, maybe it's not a good idea to share all the information we are doing in the world, on the everyday life with the state. But on the other side, the Western world, where this trust into the government is a bit higher, this idea of the digital identity wallets, I think they may grow because of this factor first, that there is a high credibility. And at the end, of course, this is something that is not questionable, that what's the value behind, because it's a great idea. Actually, it's building actually reducing the friction of all the processes we are doing, streamlining the onboarding to the customers, to the banking, to all kind of services, medias, and so on. So there's a lot of values. This is building also much digital IDs, our identification wallets are building much more trustworthy and much more secure systems to onboard the customers that are really double-checked by the state, so you might be sure that they are also fully eligible to use your services. And this is also very cost-effective, right? Today, when we are doing, for example, an onboarding of the customer to the insurance company or banking in Poland, we are using a penny transfer sometimes, or online check of the ID and the picture, where the digital identity system is actually much more, I would say, fluent, I would say, much more seamless for the end user, as it is simply, how it works in Poland is like activating one system. Let's say you are buying an insurance, at the same time you are clicking that you want to be double-checked by the mCitizen, you are clicking it, and the application of mCitizen is activating, and you are just double-clicking there your PIN number to confirm that you want to pass the data to the provider, to the insurance provider. So it's easy, it's seamless, but at the same time there is a fear behind that maybe too much data will get to the hands of...
Too much data in one place. And you think that from the perspective of merchant, because this is important, because the government always want to get more information, more and more. But from the perspective of merchants, would it be something that will help to grow their services?
Yeah. Of course, if they're treated as a single sign-on, like Google single sign-on or a Facebook one, that could be the way, right? For the European citizens, I think it's like the future. I can envision actually the future of the European Union digital identity wallet as a super app. That's definitely and we will, as a Verestro, as a provider of a microservices to build the fintechs, we will definitely approach the guys to provide them a simple wallet with a balance that could be attached to this wallet, so the citizen could also use it as a payment method, right? With the actually checking their identity at the same time. So we can imagine that when you are entering huge marketplace, or even if it's small one, a small merchant online, you could be checked by the single sign-on of M-Citizen, or I don't know what's the citizen in Romanian language. I don't want to mistaken something here, but let's say it's going to be M-Citizen as well here. So you're going to be logged in, and some kind of a balance or credit will be assigned to your name, to you as a person, and you will be just paying with this balance. This is the future of finance, I guess, but I'm not sure if it's going to be like a state, in the possession of a state, or it should be like a private entity that is providing such solutions.
Especially that right now there are thoughts about maybe creating in the mObywatel another solution for gathering the e-receipts from the merchants. So the government could analyze that kind of data at the end of the day, but not only the merchant will see what you're buying at the end of the day. So that's one of the idea what might happen. So sharing the information, of course, let's say somebody who have that kind of super wallet will be able to better manage his data, because he will know where these data are and who he's willing to share data with.
I was to maybe share one more insight I had some time ago when we were discussing, because we are providing actually such a service to one of the banks, building it for one of the consumer banks. So the idea is that you are entering the in-store, the store, the physical store. You are scanning a QR code, downloading a very tiny app, a couple of kilobytes app, applying for a credit within this app, signing it with M-Citizen, actually single sign-on, let's call it. So you're receiving a credit, signing the agreement with the bank, credit agreement, using this identity, digital identity, and at the end we are issuing a one-off card for you. So you just tokenize this card to Apple Pay and Google Pay within the app, and go to the cashier to pay with a credit for the product you buy. So you don't need to. You have a lot of values behind. You don't have to. Educate the clerks, the cashier, anybody in the store. You can imagine like MediaMarkt or Lidl guys who are just not even aware that somebody is buying on credit. It's a very intimate process, because customer does not need to ask anyone for help, and he can buy on credit. It's online, nobody sees it, and actually it's disappearing. And this is a very good use case of the process, but look, this is the in-store one. And I think the future of digital identity apparently is not like online. It's the in-store, offline, checking your identity. When you are selling a car in Romania, you could check who is buying the car from you, or who is the seller of the car, by simply tapping with the NFC module within your mobile the person, and double checking his identity if he's not like a shady guy who will next day ruin your life.
We definitely can identify this person, so that will be very convenient and useful for the end user. And Davor, for you the question, because we told from the perspective of the supplier, from the perspective of the fintech, and from your perspective from the bank, what are benefits and how maybe there is no benefit of digital wallets for the bank, and how you potentially prepare for using those tools?
I think before we jump into that question, we should make just one small step back. just to understand, this identity thingy, how did it work before all this technological advancement? So normally you had to have your personal ID or passport, or in some rare cases also the driving license was applying. So you came to a bank, the clerk in a bank was looking you at the face, comparing, is it you, is it your document, is it valid, and things like that. And that was the identification, right? It was clumsy. People on the teller had some basic understanding, what might be the real or fake document and things like that. If your picture on the document was matching your face, so you didn't, change your beard style or something, it was working fine. Now, with the technology, all this should, in theory, be very smooth. So actually, there shouldn't be even a clerk on the teller. You have in your wallet your identity card and everything, which was kind of tested, and then actually you passed through some procedure that this thingy on your mobile phone signed with your fingerprint or face ID or whatsoever works. But now comes the problem. At least in Austria, there is a governmental ID application. Luckily for us, also some ministeriums were in past developing their own application, so there is not even one. Then the banks are coming. They were also developing some sorts of their IDs, which they wanted to kind of cross-sell. For example, in Croatia, the banks' IDs were kind of accepted actually by the government institution, and vice versa. Then fintechs are coming with cool solutions and so on. And then on the top of that, I live in Vienna, in Austria, which is kind of very multicultural spot. So there are not only Austrians there, but there are people from all over the region, far away. And all of them are coming with their IDs from their countries, and of course, tons of these different applications. Now, something which in theory should be very beneficial. So, I don't have to have the, trained teller who is matching the personalized document, but only an app. But it's not an app. It's not singular. It's plural, and very fat plural, actually. So there are tons of them, right? Now, here is the first problem. Actually, you ask for benefits. Benefit in theory would be that I can easily use an app, instead of checking the identity card or a document. Problem is now integrating these tons of different documents, not only from variety of fintechs, which again, I'm not talking about the quality of those. Most of them are really good, but there is no common standard actually for integrating them. Also, the reach of the documents which they are covering is not always matching your footprint, which is needed. Again, in countries like Austria or in city like Vienna, where you have really nationalities from all over the Europe, not only European zone, it's difficult to compete, not to compete, but actually to integrate all this, right? So we are coming to the point where, technologically speaking, we have everything what we need to have, but we have it in such huge numbers that it's now becoming completely different set of problems, right? Everybody is producing cool apps, everybody is producing cool identity wallets. All of them are supposed to be integratable, but none of them is offering actually the ultimate solution, meaning that I don't have to take care about identifying the person, but that I can truly rely that the person coming with a wallet, no matter where this person is coming from, again, is it European Union, Europe, or whatever, will work fine. And then at the end of the day, we have this problem in a bank side of choosing, now what to do. Yeah.
So you think that it will be useful to have something like was done on the payment market, that it was created the standard of the APIs?
One of the things would be, I don't expect that all of a sudden all this the variety of apps and wallets disappear. I mean, some of them will probably bankrupt, or that's how life works. But still there will be multiply of them, right? And the biggest issue is really now dealing with this huge variety. On the other hand, I'm an engineer. I'm trying to look things very pragmatic, right? If you're coming at any border in this part of the world with your passport, they are scanning your passport and things works, right? With the document. So question is, why do we have to have really so many different apps and wallets and everything? Again, this is from bank perspective. What about user?
Yeah, of course.
They will also have to have tons of different, it's tiny app, it's cool, it's nice, and it works. Yeah, all of them work, but I need to have 5 of them.
But I would maybe have one question to you. But don't you? I was also thinking about it. Don't you think is the huge number of different solutions in the market, different identity solutions in the market, are actually paving the road for the one standardized one in the future? This is something that was one of the blockers of adoption of the digital wallets, identity wallets, is the education of the market. If we have plenty of them, maybe the customers will be educated enough to adopt one standardized version when it comes. I don't know when it comes, but
maybe. But again, let's try to be a little bit provocative and pragmatic. Why the hell, as a customer, I have to now be educated about identity? So far I had ID. You want to identify me? Here is my ID, and let's move on. Now I have to learn about those different apps, and I don't have a right app. Now I have to, tiny little app from here, tiny little app from there. I come to another country, I need to have their app as well, to onboard it there, and, why?
True.
Guys, make our lives easier a little bit, yeah?
Yes, sir. So, there's a bit of a misunderstanding here. The European regulation sets up an ARF, Architecture Reference Network, which means that all wallets have to be interoperable and built on the same type of structure. Which means that, I can give you an example from what we did. So you have the wallet app, and the law says, the regulation says that each member state must have at least one government-offered wallet by the end of next year. So this is obligatory.
and those are standardized for all the European.
All of them are standardized. I'll explain in just one moment. So in each country, there will be at least one offered by the government. Could be 5, could be 10. Besides those public ones, there will be private wallets. All of these wallets have to be built on the same ARF.
Yeah.
So now when we offer, and then I can show you, whomever is interested can come and I'll demonstrate. You have a wallet app, which is built on this ARF. Then you have a gateway in the back, which is supposed to accept all wallets. So you go with a wallet from Germany, or you can go with a wallet from Romania or from Poland with mObywatel. All of the wallets will be accepted by any bank in the European Union or by any public entity, because this is how the regulation has been built. Now, you might end up having 5 wallets on your phone. Why? Because it's a matter, now, what we're discussing about is adoption. So you said it very well, you said super app. Now, a super app means that, so when the legislation was built, it said that in the wallet, there should be a minimum set of data. You should have, as a basis for everything, PID, personal identification data, which comes from an authentic source. For example, in Romania, there's the People's Register, which holds all the people's data in Romania. They will be the authentic source which will provide the PID to the wallets. In Poland, it will be a similar authority. In Germany, in Austria, everywhere else, a similar authority. Besides the PID, you have other data, and that's why in the demo app, I can show you, we have cards issued by banks. Why? Because you could have retailers. You gave an example with Lidl, you gave an example with Aldi, and so on. You go to these retailers, and they must accept your wallet. You might even have a payment method in the wallet with which you can pay using, like you gave an example with a QR code. You might have credit data. So you might have an outstanding balance. You might have a daily balance, average balance. You could have data which a financial institution or somebody giving you a product could use on the spot. Of course, if the user of the wallet, if the holder of the wallet gives this data to you, you could use that information to do the scoring on the spot, and then you could give the product to the person. Or imagine that you have you buy a ticket for a museum. This is one of the use cases that has been tested. So, in order whatever I'm saying right now has been tested in the so-called large-scale pilots. There were 4 large-scale pilots, DC4U, Potential, NoBid, and EWC. There were hundreds, tens or hundreds of entities in each of these pilots, and they tested different use cases, from travel to retail to signatures to various things, identity and so on. So now if I have my super app, what can I do with it? I go to a bank and do onboarding. Easy, seamless. I go to a retailer and I already know that I can do payments, I can have the product bought on a loan because I have all the data in the app. I go online and I can verify the retailer, the online shop, to make sure that it's an authentic one, it's not a fake one. I have in my app attributes. I can, the wallet could say that I graduated a certain university in a certain city, the year when I graduated, what my diploma stands about, and all the information can be in the wallet. What will end up happening, as I said, there could be multiple wallets, but I don't think there will be so many in the end, because it's a matter of adoption. The one that will get adopted will get more features, like, for example, in Poland, it's probably going to be MOB Bottle, which will have so much functionality that most of the citizens will use.
Yeah, and you think because it's great that you shared with the audience the information about the ADAS 2, because this is the state of the play that will come into force soon. You know, we are talking about the digital wallets like, you know, it's a future that it's somewhere. It's already, yeah. So we are not telling about the future in 10 years
They
or
are
5
here,
years.
not it's here.
Right now.
They are here. That's the key
legislation
problem.
is here,
Exactly, exactly. So we are talking not about the future, just about the reality, and thinking about how to manage those data and how to use those wallets for the good of consumers at the end of the day.
That's but you know, I was just trying, wanting to shortly reply. I mean, what you said, I noticed 3 keywords: EU zone, supposedly, and if. You know, first of all, again, use case from Austria. Not everybody living in Vienna in Austria is from EU, right? So there are people from Bosnia, Serbia, Turkey, Ukraine. Quite a lot of people, potential users and everyone who are not in EU zone and whose governments are not part of this standardization and so on, and they have their wallets, their documents and so on, and they are not fully interoperable. Yeah? Next thing is, again, something which is supposed to make our life easier. I do believe that we have really over-engineered quite a lot of them. I mean, speaking about this from perspective of an engineer, and I know law is law, there are regulations, and those apps should be interoperable. They're not there yet. Yeah? So once when it comes, I hope we will get to that. Life will become easier, both for banks and both for the users. But yeah, let's see how this will work. Yeah.
We did some tests with the wallets from Germany, and we used them to onboard in our wallet, because this was there was an event in Warsaw, I think it was 3 weeks ago, where exactly this interoperability was tested. So we needed to make use of other wallets from other countries.
Still
Within the EU. You see, the whole issue. Do you want to have all the data in the Apple Wallet, or in the Google Wallet, or in a wallet which you cannot control? The EU is supposed to protect EU citizens. That's the basics of the law. And if you have your data in China, in the US, in other countries which are not protecting EU citizens, it could be problematic. So that's the whole basis of the regulation, to protect the data and to make it available to you, so that you decide what you do with your own data. You can withdraw from the wallet.
So is the idea coming from Web 3.0, yeah? To manage your information.
Davor, regarding the immigrants, I don't know how it works in Vienna, in Austria.
from Turkey is not an immigrant. It's a person who...
It's a person who living, but usually they have a residency, for example, in Poland. So they, for example, Ukrainians who came after the war started, they received like the identity number, and they are the formal residents of Poland, so they can receive the digital identity as well. It's limited, of course. They will not see the driving license there, but they will at least see their the ID, and they can use it on a daily basis, which is actually a good answer to a question we are right now having all around the world, all around the Europe, about illegal immigration. Like, if you don't have a digital identity, you are fucked. This would be like a solution at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for today. I see
Thank you.
that we are out of time, unfortunately. I think that we just started, and we started a good discussion. Thank you very much for today, and hope that next time we'll have more.
See it in action.
Exactly.